Hi, everyone. I am Shirley, the host of the Circle of Math show. And we are very happy here today to have Queen again as our guest. Queen has 20 years of professional experience in mentoring women and single mothers through trauma. She is also an expert and a speaker in supporting mamas to prepare the daughters to be resilient, empowered, and feel confidence. So, Queen, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I am doing awesome. It's always really happy to see you.
It is always good to see you.
Let's talk about mom's guilt today. Mom's guilt,
Mhm.
big things, always the biggest issues here around the global. As a single mother, a lot of us has have this guilt that our baby or our children won't have a chance to grow up like a normal family who that has a father and a mother under the same roof. But we also know that leaving this unhealthy relationship is the best and right thing to do. So, what is this guilt about?
It's such an interesting word for me because I've never looked at my life that way. I'm a single mom of two girls, and I never thought of guilt. I just thought of getting through the next day or the next moment. So really, you're just making it all up. And it's that habitual mind that plays those fun little monkey games on you, going, you should feel guilty, you don't have that white picket fence and husband to come home to, that comes home to you and the family. So if we've had if we were raised in families or cultures that you keep the family intact no matter what, then yeah, that weighs on you. I was
Mhm,
raised and brought up in Catholic family. My parents were in love for 60 plus years.
mhm,
So when my relationship broke down, it was like, wow, I didn't realize how much that belief system weighed on me.
mhm,
And I figured out like I am not giving my kids what I had. And when I started to realize that it was thought that was creating that experience for me, I just had the biggest belly laugh because I was just making it all up. Like if you
mhm.
look at the world today, it's not mother, father families all over the place. There's mother and father families, there's father families, there's mother families, there's all kinds of families now. And so just looking at what is family.
Mhm.
In my mind, family is about love. It's about being able to come home, get nourished, feel like you are loved and appreciated for who you are so that you can go back out into the world, if it's school, if it's the workplace, whatever, and get through your days because you're coming home to a beautiful home.
Yes.
And so if you can create that environment for your children and for yourself, to me, that is family.
Mhm.
It really is.
Yeah,
That's what's important.
you're absolutely right. As for myself, I would surely feel guilty if my beautiful baby daughter is living in an unhealthy relationship between the father and mother who is always fighting and yelling and never really try to understand each other, because that could be this is one of the abuse for child development, right? Both parents and mothers, fathers are fighting. So my guilt comes from if I stay in that family that I used to stay in, it could be really harmful for my child.
As you know, I'm so passionate about as women that we raise our daughters and our sons to really know what a healthy way of being in relationship is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, being in an environment in a family where it's unhealthy arguments, it's good to have arguments. It's good to have different perspectives on seeing something.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing it from a place of disrespect and being unkind to one another, then that's not okay
Mm-hmm.
because we are role modeling to our children how to be in relationships in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not always what we say, it's how we're role modeling that. So really important for us to recognize that as I'm saying something to somebody else, somebody's watching me
Mhm.
in how I'm doing that. And so that's how they're going to pick up how to be in relationship and how to deal with conflict. So really important that we prepare our children out of the gates around all of that because they pick it up, they observe, they know what's going on.
Exactly. Sometimes I think maybe if, let's say, I've tried many, many times different ways to try to communicate, have a better way of communication, it doesn't work. Is sometimes it's nice to just step away from that relationship or that marriage and to let each other cool down. Maybe, hopefully, someday, they can be friends or we can be friends again. At least let your beautiful children know that you're trying to communicate in a respectful manner and
Mhm.
a manner that really cares about the children development but really not trying to fighting over each other's conclusion. If, let's say, if the person wants white, the other person will surely go black. It doesn't work like that. So sometimes maybe a little bit of support separating or have someone, a counselor in between, to communicate for you both would be a better way. That's how I see it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's such a great point. And that's what happens in these relationship. One is black, one is white, and yet if we come closer together, which is what I call a meeting of the minds,
Mhm.
and you're in service to each other and to your children. And that is the best way to do it. And yet one might be willing to come closer and the other one is still too far over here. So it's really about, you know, Michelle Obama said it really well. When they go low, we go high.
Yep.
And the more you go high with your state of mind and your well-being, the more they have an opportunity to come up and meet you there, right? Because you're not willing to negotiate or to communicate at a lower where you're just going to be locking heads all the time. So it's a really important point that you're bringing up that uh, that we don't talk about when it comes to communication with
Mhm.
somebody who chooses to stay in that lower state of mind is is taking care of your well-being
Yes.
first.
Mhm.
Even if they're noticing they're just being in a really judgmental place, I need 5 minutes. Let's do it through email. Just finding ways to recognize, wow, I'm having a lot of stormy clouds in my head right now, so I know I'm not going to be able to talk to you.
Mhm.
Uh, that would be really great ability to me to have compassion for that other person. It's like, okay, I hear you. Like I know that feeling. And so, yeah, let's regroup maybe tomorrow.
Mhm. I once spoke to one of a very professional social worker who deals with children, family, and divorce. She once said that sometimes she see a lot of women have moved forward from the relationship, and it's really upset to see most of the time that the men are staying at the same zone where they keep on fighting and fighting and argue for nothing. And the woman is feeling tired and exhausted from pulling them back. The man is pulling them back in the drama. So I really want to tell the audience here that either you're the person who is suffering from this situation, don't feel guilty. Just wait. Give some time. Maybe after 3, 5 years, they can calm down a little bit, and that leaving this unhealthy relationship is actually building a better family for your own children, because
Mhm.
you can develop a healthier home under your own flexibility and your own lifestyle. And you don't have to negotiate with the other partner. This is the beauty of that. Yeah.
Yeah, very true. And I just want to say that this is not male versus female. This
Right.
is a power imbalance
Yes.
because there are some flip side where men are trying to rise up and trying to do the best, and the woman is not. And
Mhm.
so it's always just about power imbalance. However, we know from studies and the research and just the amount of information that's out there that it does mainly happen to women, that power imbalance is there. I mean, they're not in the higher bracket. So really important to recognize it's a power imbalance issue. And so when women start to take their power back, men can't draw them into the drama
Mhm.
unless you give them permission.
Mhm.
I'm done. Like your physical body needs to say it. The feeling that you're going to project with needs to say, I am done with the drama.
Yes.
Here's the issue. Here's the facts. This is what needs to get done, and let's move on. But if you're going to choose to get caught up in the drama, then you're not tapping into your own resilience to
Mhm.
go up higher, to stay more neutral and get done what needs to get done. You're allowing yourself to drop back into that lower state, and it feels like you're getting drawn back into the drama.
So when talking about different types of guilt, we did some research from our support group, single mothers group, and there are types of guilt that said um, they feel like they're not spending enough of the quality time with their children that might due from work and or financial wise, and they always feel guilty about that. Can you please tell us how do we not feel guilty? What is wrong with us?
Stop thinking that way.
But they
it,
do.
Yet it's a thought. I've made up a thought that I'm not good enough as a mom.
Mhm.
And that's all it is. It's only a thought. So we have this belief system that I have to be providing more material things to my kids when all they want is your time. They just want your love. They want you to appreciate them. That is what's going to get them through life
Mhm.
so much better than all the material things. I've seen, actually, there was a movie that I just watched on trauma, and there was a video of a man downtown East Side, homeless. He was given everything, everything. He was always given money because his parents wouldn't spend time with him, but they gave him money so he could take care of things. But all he needed was love and appreciation. So
Mm.
that quality time with your child, if it's over a dinner meal, if it's that hug at the end of the day, and how was your day, and I missed you, and some of those texts throughout the day, those simple things is what keeps you connected. Because really, it's about connection with your child. It's not about extra things. They don't need extra things. They're going to ask for it. They will always ask. That won't go away. And yet at the end of the day, if you gave them love and appreciation, if you look at anybody who's been successful in life, when they look back at their childhood and they talk about their families, a lot of times that's what's helped them get through a lot of their challenges,
Mhm.
is that connection, that bond.
Yeah. And that following sometimes when mom's doing self-care time, going out with friends, they feel guilty too. So this constantly guilty feeling has been flooding in mothers. I think that's one research from a baby product from the Telegraph article that I read. 80% of the mothers constantly feel guilty all the time when they're not doing anything that is related to their children. It's a psychological issue.
And yet, where does guilt come from?
Imagination, I think. Assumption.
Assumptions, yeah. And that's the thing, I think, for women and moms, is to understand that you are your child's first teacher.
Mhm.
So you're teaching them about relationship. You're teaching them about communication. You're teaching them about taking care of themselves. You're teaching them about all kinds of things. And so if your child never sees you taking care of yourself and having healthy relationships in your life, then what are you showing them? What are you teaching them?
Mhm.
So just be mindful of, and I think that's where we go on autopilot. We just think if I get food on the table and I give them a nice home and they have some nice clothes and, whatever, the latest phone, we think we're giving them everything. And yet what they're seeing is mom who's sad because she never goes out, or mom who's so tired that she can't even, you know, function during the day. So those are the things that we need to start shifting that paradigm around, where we're looking at showing our children how to have a balanced life
Mhm.
between home and family and relationships, healthy relationships. And, then I think you're creating more of a balance for them as they grow into their adult lives as well.
Mhm. I think self care is very important. So please don't feel guilty, because the more than you do, the better than you feel. And this chemistry and energy that you're showing to your children, or even though your family or your new partners, is going to be very positive. And you need that, because a lot of us are working all the time. We have to clean the house, we have to teach, we have to take care of the baby. Basically, self care is very important for, because we need to breathe. We need to stop, take a breath, and listen to ourselves. So my suggestion is really, in order to have a healthier and better life with your family, with your daughter, with your children, with your son, give yourself some time. You deserve that. Yes. Thank you, Queen, for coming to our show today. We are very happy to have you here. So, for more of our podcast episode, please subscribe to our channel and our YouTube or Facebook, or join our Instagram. Thank you for having you all here to our show.